In this video, let's discuss about what is the key column and name column properties of SSAS dimension attributes. Okay, let's see. This is also one of the important interview SSAS interview questions. So whenever you select an attribute and go to properties, you will find three different column types. One is key column, another one is name column, and another one is value column. You'll have a little description about this about all these three here. In this particular video, let's discuss about key columns and name column and the difference between these two. Okay, let's start with the key column. If you take any attribute, if you select any attribute into your attributes pane, or if you add an attribute into your attributes pane, by default, the key column will be selected. The column you selected from the table to create that attribute will be taken as a key column. Okay, that's the first point. Key column is used key column is used to refer the records in the attribute uniquely. It's like a unique representation of the members in the attribute. For example, if you take the key column, now I've selected calendar year as the key column for the attribute calendar year. Okay, that means all the querying and everything will be done based on the calendar year values. Now, if the name column is mainly used for the display purpose, whatever you have provided in the name column is what the users can see when they browse the cube. That means if they go to the browser, let me go to the cube and select the browser, and let me select this attribute. That's a calendar year. The values, whatever the users see here is nothing but the name column attributes. Okay, whatever the things that you have selected under the name column will be displayed to the users. So key column is for unique representation or querying purpose, and name column is for display purpose to the users. Now, the question here is, I didn't select anything under the name column. If you see for the calendar year, nothing is selected under the name column, but key column is selected. Then how it is showing the years under the attribute calendar year. If you see here, as I said, the name column will be shown here, but I have not selected anything. It's because if you don't select anything under the name column, okay, under the name column, then it will take whatever you have selected under the key column. Here I have not selected anything. I have not provided anything for the name column, so it will take the key column value as the name column by default. So that is the default behavior of analysis services. Now, this is about the key column and the name column. Now let's see the advantages of each and every advantages of these two. The key columns generally you use to provide the uniqueness for the record. Sometimes you need to have, it's a composite key. You can have multiple values, multiple columns. For example, if you select here, currently it is using calendar year as the key column. You can add one more, like calendar quarter, calendar semester, to provide uniqueness to the table or uniqueness to this particular column. This will come into picture mainly when you are defining user-defined hierarchies. While defining the hierarchies, you need to provide uniqueness between the levels. In such scenarios, you need to have a composite key for the key columns, and that is the time where you use the composite columns for the key columns. That's the first thing. And name column, as I said, it will pick whatever you have selected in the key column. And one more thing you have to keep in mind is whenever you select multiple columns, for example, here it's calendar year, right? Let me add one more column, and I'll make it as a composite key. Now it's a collection of columns which will make the key column of this particular attribute, calendar year. Now when you have two, then name column, it's not a composite. Okay, it takes only one column. Now you don't know which column to pick, right? You have two columns in your key column attribute, key column property. Which column you have to pick here? It's you have to provide the value, or else it will say there is a problem with the attribute. The name column should be defined because there are multiple key columns. So this is one thing you have to keep in mind while defining the composite keys for the key columns. So in this case, you have to provide whatever you want to display to the users. Now let's see an example. Let me go with the same. Let me remove this guy. Okay, the calendar year. Now, if I go to the browser under calendar year, I'll see the years, right? And here it's working perfectly fine because the name column is taken the key column values. Now let's go to the month number of the year. You know the month number of the year will be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. That is the key column. And the name column, I don't want to display 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the user. That doesn't look good to the user. So what I'm planning to do is I want to display the month names instead of the month number. So what I can do here is I can provide the name column. So what is the name column? By default, it will take the key column value, that is month number. Instead of showing the month number, I want to show something like English month name. Here it is. So I'm asking the server, don't use month number of the year for key column and under the name column for displaying the users, take the English month name. Now, before processing the dimension, let me show you the same in the value that it is displaying currently for the month number of the year. It should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 because it's not yet processed after I added the name column value. Now let me process this dimension. Okay. It may take some time. Let me pause you guys for so. Okay, let me click run. Processing each and every attribute. You can see it here. Okay, process succeeded. Now, let me reconnect it. And here you can see it's displaying the name column to the user. The values that user can see is the name column. And as I selected the English month name for the name column, it is showing month names here. And if I go back and if I remove this guy and if I set the month name to, the name column to month number of the year, again the user will start seeing the month numbers instead of the month name. This is the difference between key column and the name column. In short, key column is used for querying and providing uniqueness to the attribute members, whereas name column is used for displaying to the users. Now, there is one more property here, order by key and attribute, and you key and name and attribute key and attribute name. You already know about this attribute key and attribute name because it is used for sorting this particular attribute members based on secondary attribute. Now let's discuss. We are much interested in key and name at this point of time. So if you select key, it will order the attributes based on the key column, that is month number of the year, and that is what it has done when I processed. Okay, the attribute members of the month number of the year attribute are ordered based on key column, that is month number of the year. So the month number of the year will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that is why it is showing in proper order, that is Jan, Feb, March, April, May, and so on. Right? Now let me change it to name. So if I select it to name, now what happens is the members of this particular attribute will be ordered based on the name column of the attribute. The name column of the attribute here is English month name, and you know it's a textual information. It's a string information. So the order will be based on the string month names. Let's see how it goes, how it will be ordered. Process succeeded. Let me close this guy and let me go to the browser and let me try to reconnect it. And you can see the order is changed based on the month name. So this is one thing you have to keep in mind while providing the name column for the attributes. And there is one more thing you have to keep in mind when you are working with the different columns for the key column and the name column, that is in MGX. Okay, let me show you the calendar year attribute. It has key column, calendar year, but no name column. That means it is going to take the same key column value here. That is calendar year is also the name column in this case. Now, let me go to month number of the year. Okay, here the key column is month number of the year, but name column is English month name. Now let's go to MDX. In MDX, if this is how you refer an attribute member. You have to give the dimension name, and you have to give the attribute name, that is hierarchy name here in this case, and ampersand. If you provide ampersand, what I'm highlighting here, that means you are referring to the key column of the attribute. Key column in the sense, the column whatever you have specified under the key column property for the calendar year, that is calendar year. So that is why if I specify 2014, it's not returning because I process the dimension, so I have to process the cube too. It may take oops, 1 second. It may take few seconds. Okay, process succeeded. Good. Now let me execute this. If you see, the key column and the name column for the calendar year attribute is same. That is why even if I specify key column, that is with ampersand, if I have an ampersand for an attribute member, that means you are referring to the key column. So that is why it is returning data. Calendar year 2014 is there. Good. It is returning data. Here if you see, there is no ampersand. See, you can see the ampersand is missing. That means I'm referring to the name column of the attribute. The name column of the attribute is nothing for the calendar year, which means it's going to take the same column as the key column. So the calendar year has 2014, so it returns the data. Now let's try the same with, I think it's the month number of the year, right? Let me try. If I don't remember the attribute name. Let me quickly look into that. Month, number of year. Perfect. So if I give ampersand of July, okay, then it will go and look for the July in the key columns because I specified ampersand here. Ampersand means it will go into the key columns. And let me show you the attribute once again. Month number of the year. And if you go to the key column, it is actually month number. So I have to provide something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 when I use ampersand here. Let's see what it's going to return if I provide the name, month name instead of month number. It will search for that and it will say there is nothing available in the key columns because the key column is month number of the year, which will be having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So now let me remove this ampersand. That means I'm referring to the key column, sorry, name column of the month number of the year attribute. Okay. And if I execute this, it will go to the key name column of the attribute. The name column of the attribute is English month name and it has July value. So it returns the data perfectly. So that is one place where you have to be very cautious. If you have a name column, different name column and key column, then you have to be very careful while writing MDX queries too. Now, how I can make this work? You have to provide the month number or the value that is available in the key column, that is month number of the year. I have July, that is 7, I think. Yeah, let me go with this. Now, 7 is available in the month numbers of the year column. So it is returning the data and the related name column, English month name is 7, that is July, and it is returning July information. So these are the things you have to keep in mind about key columns and the name columns. So in short, key columns is for uniquely representing the members of the attribute. Name column is for the display purpose to the users. And when you have two different values, the next point is if you don't specify the name column, then it will take the key column value by default. And the next point is if you have a multiple key column values, then you have to specify the name column explicitly. And the order by property takes either key column or name column. It orders based on the value that you have provided in the key and the name. And while writing MDX, you have to be very cautious when you have two different values, two different columns referred or used in the key column and the name column property of the attribute. Hope you understood the concepts and subscribe for more videos on SSAS, SSAS, and SSRS interview questions. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.